so wild. StephenASmith, the sports commentator, suggested that this was revenge from the president.
Man. So it appears that StephenASmith got himself into some trouble, dude, due to the fact that the FBI had to react live on ESPN's First Take to StephenASmith's remarks on Donald Trump and the FBI. Let's watch the video right now.
Living in terms of politics. How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm gonna say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is gonna be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be. This was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list.
As a result, everyone was discussing that and asking, what is StephenASmith talking about? Why is he even bringing this up, for example? He appears to be attempting to curry favor with his black audience by blaming Trump for anything, when we all know that he recently apologized for upsetting them by singling out Jasmine Crockett.
This has a lot to do with a whole brouhaha that's been going on with me over the last few weeks. Now, I will tell you, I apologize for not speaking about this earlier. I wanted to take a moment because I saw something disturbing in regards to President Donald Trump and how he came at Representative Jasmine Crockett. And I wanted to take this opportunity to attack this issue as it pertained to me and Jasmine Crockett because I personally have had an issue with how things have been misconstrued and misinterpreted. But at the end of the day, I have to own it. And that's what I'm going to do today. And so when somebody says to me, Stephen, rather than point to her and her verbiage and her language and how she talked about the president, what about how he talks? I have no problem with that. I can understand that. And if that is the reason that everybody is in an uproar, that is fine. And I have no problem apologizing to my sister because, damn it, I want her to know I don't feel that way about it.
His position on that subject simply turned off a lot of people because when the FBI stated that the investigation began 4 years ago, long before Donald Trump was even in office, they simply could not comprehend how this related to him. Let's see what the FBI had to say in response. Additionally, I had the FBI's answer from StephenASmith. Therefore, when I play this tape for you, don't click off. Guys, please make sure to press the thumbs up button if you can. I truly appreciate that since it helps to fund my YouTube channel.
That this was revenge from the president for all the kind of left-wing activism of the NBA. Your response to that, 15 seconds.
I'm the FBI director. I decide which arrests to conduct and which not to conduct. That may be the single dumbest thing I've ever heard out of anyone in modern history, and I live most of my time in Washington, D.C. It's right up there with Adam Schiff. We arrest people for crimes.
The FBI essentially humiliated StephenASmith by calling him out for his remarks on them and Donald Trump. That isn't related to it. I also look at crimes, as he mentioned. That's easy, isn't it? Let's hear StephenASmith's answer to the criticism and the FBI's plea for his accountability. Let's watch this video right now.
FBI director for the United States, Kash Patel, called me and said that what I said in regards to Donald Trump was the dumbest thing he's ever heard, and he lives there in Washington, and it was the dumbest thing he's heard, et cetera, et cetera. That's what he said about me. And I would say he's the director of the FBI. Let's just say I'm not trying to get on his bad side. I think it's safe to say that. It's safe to say I'm not trying to get on his bad side, okay? But having said that, I still stand by what I said. And I'm not changing my mind. Because what I tweeted last night on X, and I wanted to make sure that everybody saw, so I'm clear about where I stand and what I'm trying to say. In response to FBI Director Kash Patel's insults on the Laura Ingraham show on Fox News, what I said was, I tweeted this on X, quote, "Nothing to get ahead of here, people. I never denied or failed to mention that this FBI investigation has been going on for years. I said Trump wasn't inclined to stop it. He's sparing no one because the man isn't playing. He's coming. In no way am I attempting to even have an opinion on the legitimacy of this matter. I don't know the facts of the case. I'm just saying don't expect POTUS to spare anyone on this matter, and I stand by that. That's all. Why are we acting like I'm far-fetched? Why are we acting like I'm making this up? I'm going to repeat what I continue to say to y'all. And by the way, just so you know, in the interest of just being real and making sure that you understand who I am, as a journalist and a commentator spanning 30 years, I just want you all to know that it's customary for people to sit up there and say that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, that I'm off my damn rocker, only to come down the pike weeks, months later and say, yeah, it was true. Or the facts bear those things out. This investigation has been going on when Biden was in office. They talked about how this stuff has been going on since 2019, which is when Trump was in office. I'm not implying that Kash Patel doesn't have any legitimacy to the case that he's pursuing against these individuals. They are clearly looking for more bodies, and you can speculate as to who those bodies are going to be, and how feverishly he's going to go after those people. The man ain't playing. We understand that. We get that part, okay? And I'm not about to sit up here and argue with an FBI director. All right, I was born at night, not last night. I'm simply making the point that in the end, you have a president in place that has a lengthy connection to the sports world, rife with friends and enemies. And those who are his enemies, he doesn't mind inconveniencing one bit. And when it comes to the NBA brand, it doesn't bother him. If it comes to compromising the NFL brand, it doesn't bother him. And it's not going to stop. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't understand how anybody can argue with me about this. When you heard that ICE is going to be at the Super Bowl where Bad Bunny is performing, if it was somebody that Trump liked, do you think that would be happening? We've seen the pardons. We've seen the executive orders. What do you think is going to happen? All I'm saying is that if he's salty with you, if he has a reason to dislike you, I'm not saying that delegitimizes the case. I'm just simply saying that he's not going to hesitate to come at you with a level of fervor that you should be aware of.
That's Stephen A. Smith answering the FBI then. Indeed, dude. You know, I genuinely think he did this to get attention. Since his position was so unexpected, I get the impression that he understood what he was saying would draw attention and spark a conversation. It wasn't relevant to anything that was happening, you know? He had the option to call out Adam Silver. You know, he had the opportunity to discuss the NBA games. He says he attends a lot of those games, don't you think? Oh, I'm makeup games and something, he says all the time. I'm watching from the first row and such. I'm therefore available and approachable if a gamer wishes to talk to me. It's like, dude, you could have talked about this a lot more. Terry Rozier should have been called out, particularly when it became obvious that he was playing games. Terry Rozier is clearly turning the tables and purposefully doing foolish things in the situation, as if you could see it. For example, we wouldn't even be aware of Stephen A. Smith's identity if it weren't for the sport, would we? You would assume that he would complain about how these coaches, players, and anyone else participating in this gambling stuff are ruining their lives. For example, this is the person who should send a message using his platform. He certainly could have criticized the NBA, especially after they looked into Terry Rozier and found nothing wrong, but I'm not saying he needs to disparage those folks. Correct. Regarding the subject, I agree with Brian Windhor's remarks. The NBA had been called out by him.
At some point is going to have to explain why Terry Rozier was allowed to keep playing. And I just want to point something out. The sports books caught the irregular betting on Terry Rozier the day it happened, the morning it happened, when all of a sudden there was hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in on Terry Rozier unders for a relatively meaningless game in March, involving the Charlotte Hornets. The sports books caught it. They told the NBA right away, and guess what? The NBA, Rozier didn't play the rest of the season, and he had faked the injury, so it wasn't because of the injury. The NBA pulled him. They pulled Jonte Porter too. They flagged Jonte Porter and pulled Jonte Porter. The NBA's measures, they're compliant.
Well, dude, that's what I think about that. I want you all to share your opinions regarding today's video in the comment area below. Remember to press the like button. Remember to click the subscribe button as well. And we'll see you all at the next one, folks.